This is like the go-to standard eyeshadow look for me. The first color that I am obsessed with is Brown Script by MAC. And it is like the best warm brown ever created. As I powdered my eyelids, I'm not gonna put a color on my lid. I just kind of like to just leave it. This is brush number 222 from MAC. And you dip it in, and this is one thing that I think people forget. You have to get some of that powder off. So get some in your brush and then shake it off. And all you really do is get the brush in your crease and just go back and forth. And so much of eyeshadow is blending. I mean, it's just blending. You don't want really hard lines, and you don't want a ton of product in one place. You really just want to get a small amount and blend it. And this I like to use to just kind of create like some good depth, some good warmth. The next color that I like to use is from NARS. It's Galapagos. I've had this color forever, and it's just one of my favorite colors that just gives the perfect amount of depth without it being too dark. And I like to use a smaller, more controlled brush. This is from NARS as well, number 12. It's just smaller. See how it's, you just have more control with where you're depositing the color. So I'm just dipping a very, very small amount, literally just like, that's it, and then shaking it off. And because this does have a lot of pigment to it, you really just, I like, kind of put it on like paint by numbers. Be deliberate about where you're putting it, and then you can buff it out. So, you know, I want to give a little depth just in the crease. So I'm going to just do the other side and just really kind of, you know, add depth where I want it. This is just another kind of blending brush that I have. It's from Chanel, and nothing's on it. And you just kind of, in circular motions, kind of just buff those hard lines out. Blending, blending, blending. I always keep paper towel or tissue on hand to keep that brush from having product on it. I just wipe it off immediately. So as you can see, it buffs it out. It takes the color and kind of expands it a little bit because of the brush I'm using, which I want. And it just softens it all. The Shiseido eyelash curler that will change your life. It's so good. Make sure you get all those buddies in there. And just try to get right down at the base. As far down at the base you can get, the better. Then, I have been loving the Too Faced 3-Way eyeliner. You want this to be very, very thin and deep and like tight lined. Stabilize your hand, your elbows. And so you're only controlling your fingers, if that makes sense. Sometimes that helps. I'm using this hand to kind of pull, and so I can get down at the very base. I mean, you can even go so far as to like do little dots down, little presses down on the base of your eyelashes, to the point where you won't think you're going to be able to see it, and then you open and it's like, oh, it's totally there. But keep it as thin and fine as possible, and don't feel like you need to do like these smooth lines. If anything, it's more important to keep it really clean down at the base. And so you can just press, like do little dots, and then you can see how clean it looks when you open your eye. Isn't it funny how when you put on eyeliner you like can't talk? And mascara. Sorry guys. But you can see that my eyes are open and I'm looking in, and I'm just kind of like going in from underneath. So now I'm stabilized, my elbows are on the table, and I'm just using this, and I'm pulling on this side now, and I'm just getting down again. And I like that this brush, you have really good control with it. It's like, and I don't like the ones that have like a longer tip to it, because I feel like you don't have as much control. I'm kind of a control freak, even with my makeup. And that's how we do it. And then look at your eyes and see, does one side need to be, you know, thicker? You know, is it even on both sides? So